This is a different buck coming. He's limping, and he's got he's a wider rack deer, 120 inches. I think he's at crab claw 10. Yeah, he's at crab claw 10. That's the other one Jamie don't want us to shoot. We've seen the 2 bucks Jamie don't want us to shoot. That's cool. He's looking up this way. I think he saw me get up here.
The outfitter that's managing his area, you may say, well, we're not going to shoot that because he's a 3.5-year-old, and that's tough. That's a tough decision to make. And if you don't know and you're unsure, let him walk.
I hear a buck fight. Up there in the hill, 2 bucks fighting. One of them I think is a shooter too. Oh, there's a 3rd buck. That is a shooter. He's wide. I'm gonna try and rattle him over. I don't know if they'll hear it this far. If I get a shot at that wide 5x5, I'm gonna take him. He's too far. I'm gonna range him just in case. He's over 400 yards, about 450. It's too far out.
When you're taking long distance shots, a lot of it comes down to how comfortable you are with your shooting and your gun. But more importantly, it's knowing that exact range. For me, I like to have a good rangefinder and know exactly what that yardage is so I can be comfortable on that shot. If it's something I'm used to taking at the range, I have no problem taking that shot on an animal.
When you're going out west in Nebraska, for instance, your shots are going to be longer, you know, probably at that 200 and 300 yard mark. And it has to be you as a sportsman that can sit there and say, no, that's 350, that's out of my ability.
That was cool. Those bucks locked up. You could hear it all the way over here. Probably hear it a 1/4 mile away.
Well, as the morning went, I decided to get a little more aggressive, get the grunt call out, rattling antlers, and did some rattling sequences. And unfortunately, we couldn't get that big shooter buck across that valley and closer to us for a shot.
We're gonna wrap it up this morning. I hate even leaving the timber right now, but we need to switch to a different location where Jamie's got some big bucks located. We've been waiting and saving a spot for an evening hunt, so he's getting ready to pull up here and we're gonna go change spots.
You know, the hunt ended that morning, phenomenal deer movement. We had deer on us from the time we got up on that hill to the time we left. It was actually hard to leave, but Jamie had a good game plan in store for us for the afternoon.
Oh, look at this shooter right here.
Well, there we were, you know, driving in the truck, and wouldn't you know, you see a buck standing out there. Looks like a shooter. We're trying to size him up from the truck.
He's a 9-pointer. I can't tell if he's got a wound on him. He's acting wounded. Right now he's walking. Let me look. That's a good buck, guys. It's a real good buck.
The more we got looking at that buck, you could tell that he looked awful sick. You know, so I told Jamie, I said, if you can find somebody that's willing to take that buck, I'd be happy to go in there and try and get closer to that buck and put a good shot on him.
Landon Fadley from Somerset, Pennsylvania is here hunting. He has already got a mule deer. He told Jamie that he would go buy a tag and take this buck because he's out here, he's wounded, and I think the ethical thing is to take this buck. And thanks for stepping up to the plate.
Oh, he's a great buck. Back home, we never get a chance at anything this big, so if I get a chance to take a big buck down like that, I was glad to go get an extra tag. And
he's a nice deer.
That's definitely
great deer for him. Let's go try and kill him.
All right.
Now, Landon, what I want to do is, it don't look like he's really going to go anywhere, but we don't know. So let's just try and get as close to him as you feel comfortable for a shot.
Definitely.
I still see him standing out there. He's 142 right now. 142. We can get a little closer. Pretty buck, man.
Me and Steve decided to go on the stalk the best way we could to where he was broadside, and we were working our way in. We got to about 150 yards, which was well within my range. I was happy with it, and Steve thought we could get a little closer, so we got down as low as we could and got in without trying to spook him.
Great shot. Great shot. Yes, one shot, baby.
So he leveled the crosshairs on that deer, pulled the trigger, the deer dropped in his tracks.
What a beautiful 9-point. He's a 10.
We were real concerned still what was the matter with him. We weren't quite sure. Later, whenever we field dressed him, we found that his stomach was shrunk down to pretty much nothing. He definitely wasn't going to make it any longer, so we were glad to be able to take him out ethically and safely.
That was the ethical thing to do. Big mature buck. Congratulations, man.
Thanks again.
Well, Jamie, day 2 of the hunt. I'd like to get it done. Short hunt. That's why I'm asking you to go with me.
We're gonna sit on that same hill,
Okay.
and that buck we seen yesterday, if he comes down in that same little area, we'll try to get down into the swell a little bit, try to get a little closer to him.
My theory was I wanted Jamie to go with us. And the reason why is he knew the terrain better. And he knew that if we saw that shooter buck again, you know, my feelings were he'd know a better place or quicker place maybe to get a closer shot at that buck.
Is that where we're headed?
Yeah, we're gonna head right up to that top hill.
Let's be careful now, because this were.
Yeah, that big buck could come across that edge and come right down that sandy draw.
Yeah.
And it'll be about a 250-yard shot.
Your guide is they're your eyes and your ears for that area. They live there, they grew up there in most cases. Unfortunately, a lot of times during the rut and particular times of the year, we're on the road so much that you can't devote as much time to preseason scouting as you want to. That's when you need to go hunting with an outfitter or a guide that you trust fully that's going to do that job for you.
Mule deer doe down in the bottom. There's a buck.
Nice time point.
There's one behind him. He's bigger. Good buck. I don't think he's a shooter. That's your big up-and-comer right there.
Yeah, he's gonna be a nice deer.
He's gonna hop the fence.
We were on this high hill and we're sitting here glassing, and we had a little small 2.5-year-old buck come in, and it had a really nice mainframe 4 come in. About a 3.5-year-old deer, which really looked good. It might have been a shooter for most people, but on this ranch we really pass those up. So I told Steve, well, we're not gonna shoot these deer.
It's after 9. We've been up here for almost, a couple hours anyway. And you know what? If they're not coming to us, we're gonna have to go to them.
Jamie and I talked and we decided that I needed to get on the north end of that timber very early. We could push in a lot closer to where that buck and those does came out on that north end, but we needed to get in there early. So, we just went right from the morning spot right to the afternoon spot. And he also wanted me out there kind of on my own so I didn't have extra scent out there messing me up.
I'm kind of pumped. We're setting up on the north end. We got a southerly wind on the north end of this thicket where these big bucks are holed up in. We saw a shooter buck out here last night, long ways off, big gigantic 8. There's other shooter bucks around here. We're gonna set up in a better place to maybe get a shot. If he or any other buck does the same thing he did, we'll be in good shape tonight. Jamie said just to get here on the north side of this timber in one of these thickets, and this looks like as good a spot as I know. They came right out here last night, so. Just set up right here. There's a coyote. Looks like he's hunting something. Probably a field mouse. Up. He just got him, I think. There he goes into timber.
And lo and behold, as soon as he went into timber, 4 does jumped out of there. And I got ready because I knew there was a chance that one of those does would have that big buck with him.
I think that coyote ran those does out, but that good buck could be with him. I'm watching. I don't see any buck yet. There he is, there he is. There he is, I see antlers. Yep, that's him. That's the big 8. That's the big 8. I'm gonna take him.
All I saw was white antlers, big, tall 8-point. What a giant. I threw up my red field binoculars and sure as heck, that was that shooter buck.
I'm gonna take him when he turns broadside. Oh, come on, big boy. He's just standing there looking at those does. He's not giving me a shot. I can't take that shot. Come on, big boy, turn. No, I can't take it. He just turned around. He went back into the cedars. Dang.
The important thing is I didn't want to take that frontal shot. It's not an ethical shot. And the other important thing is to my favor is 2 of the 4 does actually laid down and bedded on our side of the fence.
We know he's right there, and I've got 2 does right here, so I'm gonna get quiet and just have patience. He might show back up. I'm hunting all day. The rut is basically at its peak. We'll settle in here for the evening, see what happens.
Part of whitetail hunting is having the persistence needed. I'm a pretty big fan of hunting all day, anytime, because if you're back at the lodge having lunch, well, you're not gonna be out getting deer.
We've got these 2 does. One just got up, the one that was bedding. The other one's still laying there. So that's a good sign. They may be starting to get up. Oh, there's another doe coming out. Another doe coming out. I want to see how far she is. 247 yards. There he is. There he is. I see antlers. That's him. That's the big 8. He just hopped the fence. I'm going to take him right there. He's a giant. Oh no, he's starting to run. He might have got a little further away. I don't know. He's going 260. He's 260. When he stops, I'm going to take him. There he is. There's my shot right there. All right. Yes! He's down. Big giant 8. Just took a dirt nap. The Winchester 30-06, 180 XP3s just did the job on that giant Nebraska 8-point.
Well, you know, when I put the crosshairs on that deer's shoulders, I mean, I had a lot of area to aim. He was a tank. He was huge. And I couldn't be happier. One of my biggest 8-points in my life. And what a giant. A 6.5-year-old buck that Jamie called Big 8 was down for good.
Look at this buck. My God. Giant Nebraska 8-point. I don't have to make him look big. He's already a giant.
Steve's background is bow hunting, turkey hunting, you know, both of those games, you got to get close to the animal, you got to get in tight, play their game. So you put a rifle in Steve's hands, he's deadly.
Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Nice
Look
buck.
at this giant.
He's got some mass, nice long tongue length. Boy, an old mature deer. That's what we're looking for, baby.
You know, it took a couple days to get that buck down, but it was worth it. One of the most exciting hunts I've ever been on. You can't ask for a better whitetail hunt than here in Nebraska at Triple H Outfitting.
Just a massive 8-point. My best 8-point ever. Unbelievable. This was a fantastic hunt.